Hi, my name is Check Wee. In this video, I will share with you how you can leverage LinkedIn for your career and for your company as a HR professional. Before we begin, I'd like us to consider why this topic even matters. Firstly, for self, with over 600 million LinkedIn users globally, LinkedIn is ideal for job seekers and for us to maintain our professional presence. Using LinkedIn to seek out new career opportunities is a good reason. In addition, I would like to encourage you to include two other purposes. Recruit the very best talents with our LinkedIn presence for our companies. Recruiting shouldn't be confined to a recruiter. Every HR professions, regardless of HR disciplines, has the obligation to be great talent magnets. Showcase our company's working culture with our sharing via LinkedIn. Especially for us as HR professionals, we ought to lead by example to contribute to a company's employer branding efforts. Let me give you an overview of what we will cover today. Three sections. Enrich your LinkedIn profile. I will highlight key areas and common mistakes that we need to work on our LinkedIn profiles. Connect to the right connections. I will talk about my learnings on how you can connect to people relevant to your work in a meaningful manner. Lastly, engage your connections. Over here, I will share the various types of information you can use to engage your connections regularly. Let's start with enriching your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn photo is the very first piece of information which people will see when they check you out. Three biggest mistakes. The very first one, poorly taken photos. Do ensure that your photo is properly taken, properly exposed, and your photo background is clean, free of clutter. Secondly, your photo taken from a far distance. This makes it really difficult to recognize you, especially when people view your profile from their mobile devices. Lastly, cheeky photos such as this. This picture is actually taken from a HR professional's LinkedIn page. Please don't do this. One-liner headline. Other than the space for your photo and your name, this area with a 120 character limit is the next most precious real estate on your LinkedIn profile. Maximize it. Tell the world about your life's work. Having said this, please don't exaggerate your one-liner. Your summary section. When people click on your profile, this is the very first section that appears. I would recommend you to put in a concise summary of your professional journey. If you have been recognized externally, it's a good idea to have this recognition put in as well. Do note there is a 1,000 character limit on this section. This section also allows you to add rich media. As mentioned, it is good that you not only advocate yourself as a HR professional, you should also advocate for your company. Lead by example. This section on work experiences is not a detailed listing of your job description. Conceptually, JD shouldn't even be on your resume. Think of it this way. What you enter into the work section on your LinkedIn profile is like an appetizer to your resume. And your resume is the appetizer to your next job interview. Describe your work experience in a way that gives enough but not too much. Do also spice up this section with rich and relevant media such as articles, pictures, or even videos. It can be about you or about your company. Volunteering experiences allows you to showcase work that is beyond your day job. It gives an insight on how passionate you are in perfecting your HR profession. If you have not started volunteering, I would strongly recommend for you to start it today. This section on skill endorsement allows LinkedIn to notify you on good job opportunities. In addition, by comparing your listed skills with peers and with more experienced professionals,
This comparison allows you to map out your strengths and areas to improve upon. This section on recommendations is like the modern-day reference letter. The advantage over the traditional ones is that this information about you is available 24/7, which future employees will get to understand how you approach problem solving. My recommendation is that you try to garner as many recommendations as possible. Of course, do give out as many constructive ones as well. The section on achievement enables you to enter your awards, projects, publications, and even test scores. It's like a dessert after a satisfying meal. In other words, it is not critical to have this section completed, but it will provide a holistic view about your profile. For junior HR professionals watching this presentation, my advice for you is this. You may not have garnered many years of experience which you can rave about in earlier sections. This section gives you the opportunity to showcase your passion in HR. For example, I would encourage you to start a HR project, collaborating with more experienced practitioners. Not only you get to learn more, you can also put such experience in this section. We have now covered how you can reach your LinkedIn profiles. I would like us to move to the next challenge. How do you go about making the right connections? Connecting meaningfully. You make LinkedIn connections with fellow professionals you know best, and your email correspondence is the best indicator who these professionals are. For those of you who use Google Email as your office email, a Google Chrome extension known as Rapportive helps you to connect with your correspondence with a click of a button. Highly recommended. When you go for conferences and events, you tend to collect a lot of business name cards. For me, I use Evernote Premium as a means to scan and OCR these business name cards. One good feature from Evernote Premium is that you can also allow you to connect these professionals immediately in LinkedIn. Evernote Premium is another good productivity tool should you be meeting many people at events and conferences. Lastly, LinkedIn does provide suggestions on who you may know or would want to connect with. This is another avenue where I make connections. Earlier, I mentioned about making the right connections meaningfully. And I'd like to encourage you to go beyond just adding a new LinkedIn connections. Each time when you do so, do it with a purpose. For me, whenever I get to connect with HR professionals via LinkedIn, I would send them a message to thank them for being a connection and invite them to join ThriveInAsia.com, a non-profit pan-Asian HR community. In this manner, I hope to establish commonality and a sense of community with my HR connections in LinkedIn. That's how I connect meaningfully. I would recommend that you do this. It doesn't have to be Thrive in Asia. Find a common ground that enables you to be beyond a number in LinkedIn. Engaging your connections. Over here, I will share the various types of information that you can use to engage your connections regularly. To do so, I've created a simple 2x2 metric to categorize the array of information you may want to share with your LinkedIn connections. On the vertical axis, you have the efforts to digest your shared information from a recipient perspective. On the horizontal axis, it is a spectrum of how personable or intimate your shared content is with your recipients. Let's use articles as an example. Articles would be information that would take up high amount of effort relatively to read through. and it is something that is not as personable as other information you may share in LinkedIn. I would recommend that you ensure that such article is highly useful or insightful. Over time, your LinkedIn connections would regard you as a professional who shares really good information. That's good sharing. Short videos about your company or an insight that interests your professional connections would be the next along the y-axis. Nowadays, with YouTube being so prevalent and massive, we are conditioned to have a relatively short attention span. Hence, it's an investment of efforts to click your video link. Do ensure that such content is highly valuable to make it worthwhile for your LinkedIn connections. Infographics is considered to be easily digestible by your LinkedIn audience. Although there are relatively not too many HR-related infographics few years ago, I do see that this types of information is getting more and more prevalent. When you chance upon a good infographics, do share via LinkedIn. Pictures are the easiest to digest. Some says that pictures speaks 1,000 words. I would say that interesting pictures shared on LinkedIn garners 1,000 likes. Earlier, I spoke about leveraging LinkedIn beyond self and for our companies. Pictures serve a good means to convey the type of working environment we have in our companies. Over here, you see that pictures can be used to features employees' perspective as well. Pictures can also be used to express what a company stands for, and in this case, a good quotation about teamwork and collaboration. Let's flip over to the next axis, information that is more personable. Asking questions via LinkedIn messaging would consider to be high in terms of it being personable. It is also considered as low effort relatively for your connections to answer your questions to them. The questions you see on the left are actual questions that I had asked before with my LinkedIn connections. From experience, it's a great means to engage your connections and a great means to get answers, especially the question on templates. LinkedIn Group offers a forum to discuss topics relevant to the group members. I think it is a good means for you to establish yourself as a HR professional by engaging fellow LinkedIn users via this avenue. Blog posting is considered to be high in terms of it being personable and it requiring a larger amount of efforts for the recipients to digest your shared information. Blog postings can be highly varied in terms of content. It can be a summary of your learning, post and HR event. It can be your thoughts on a particular HR topic close to your heart. It can be a video PowerPoint presentation with your voiceover, or it can be a video of you speaking about a particular HR topic. Personally, I find it highly fulfilling in producing such information and publishing it as a LinkedIn blog posting. It allows your LinkedIn connections to know you at a deeper level. Hence, go for it when you are ready to publish LinkedIn blog postings. Finally, collaborating with your LinkedIn connections on a common project is one that requires the highest effort from your LinkedIn connections, but it will also provide you with the most gratifying means to connect with them. In my experience, because of LinkedIn connection, I have collaborated with schools speaking as a panel speaker on HR topics. I had collaborated with government agencies to help to enable good HR practices among the small medium enterprises. I had collaborated with fellow HR professionals to build and establish HR communities such as thriveinAsia.com. It is indeed truly satisfying collaborating with people. Highly recommend for you to take this on as well. You know what? This is it. All you need to know about leveraging LinkedIn as a HR professional for your career growth and for your companies. We have covered 3 sections. How do you enrich your LinkedIn profile? How do you connect with professionals via LinkedIn meaningfully? And finally, how do you engage your existing LinkedIn connections using various information?
I hope you have gained good action takeaways. This video is part of a volunteering initiative for thriveinAsia.com, a non-profit pan-Asian HR community. Drop me an email if you have any questions, or come and join thriveinAsia.com to participate in more sharing among us HR professionals in Asia. Hope you have a good HR career ahead.